Hello, friends. I'm going to talk about sleep, and I'm going to talk about things that can get in the way of sleep. I've seen a lot of videos lately where people are talking about having nightmares, people with mood swings, having nightmares, trouble sleeping. Why that is, all at this time, numerous people, that's up in the air. I'm going to talk about glycoalkaloids. This is a substance that's inside of foods, nightshades, potatoes, tomatoes. Thing is, though, it goes way beyond nightshades. And there's a website, I don't remember the name of the website. If you look up glycoalkaloids and mental health, whatever, it'll come up. You'll get to her website. Forgive me for not putting the link in. She goes on to talk about how these glycoalkaloids disturb sleep. So we're going to have sleep issues no matter what, because our brains are all out there. So there's some things that are going to hinder sleep even more for us. And I'm putting special attention on the glycoalkaloids, and this is something that needs more analysis, more people to look at this and talk about it. Because for me to hear, oh, I've been having nightmares, well, I do too. And I have less or more sometimes. And something that really gets in the way of my sleeping that I've noticed is paprika and paprika extract, which is going to be even worse. So, for example, I'll be very specific. I picked up some shrimp that had the breading on it, frozen shrimp, and I made it. I didn't sleep at all that night, which was, it's not something that happens so often that it's where I can say, oh, it's just my brain. No. I know that I ate the whole entire box, my last meal before bed. And I swear I maybe shut my eyes for an hour, laying in bed for more than 10. This is too noticeable to me. Now, something that even says on the back, an extract of paprika. And the only way that you're going to know this, and that's a glycoalkaloid, it's a pepper. The only way you're going to know this is go get it yourself. Go get some food from the store that has on the back, go to the shrimp. You can probably find it directly. And it will say on the back, paprika extract. Or get some paprika, put it on your food, a little bit more and a little bit more and a little bit more for 2 or 3 days, and you tell me if you can sleep through the night. I like eating some pepperonis, and Napoleon hears the babies outside talking. Are you talking? Are you talking to the birdies out there? Okay. He's probably not going to quiet down, so bear with me here. If you want to talk about alkaloids for a moment, if you want to talk about the substance of alkaloids, there's added alkaloids to chocolate. Why is there added alkaloids? Question. So if you look at the back of some, let's say, Hershey's cocoa powder, it'll say on the back, alkaloids added. or something to that, roughly. Why is there added alkaloids in there? Well, first of all, caffeine is an alkaloid. Opiates are an alkaloid. Cocaine is an alkaloid. So all these things that we go to that have these key triggers for our brains, and I'm going to use that key triggering, because once you have activated something inside of your brain, then your brain is going to have some kind of response with epinephrine or something to do with some kind of psychoactive effect. If you're getting this from hops in beer, if you're getting this from tobacco leaves, if you're getting this from tea leaves, these are all going to have some kind of alkaloid in it. So it's going to have an effect on your brain, and it's going to have some kind of turn on. And I've played around with quite a bit of them. And you know that if you eat a bunch of chocolate before bed, you're not going to go to sleep. And you'll say the reason that is because of the caffeine inside of the chocolate, or the caffeine that was inside of that Coca-Cola or whatever that you had before bed. So you know better to have those things before bed. Well, do you know better to not have other things such as a tomato marinara or mashed potatoes or any of those kinds of things before bed? Or have you been eating too many of those types of things? Red hot sauces, those are peppers. That's going to be a glycoalkaloid food. And I will say the glycoalkaloids, at least you could differentiate through your own looking through websites, however valid that information is, as to what the effect is of each one as far as what's written on paper, written online, and then your own self-evident experience. So you're really only going to know these things by playing around with these things and singling them down to knowing that some of these things are going to have more of an effect on you not being able to sleep. And then that's where it messes with my mind, is thinking, oh, it's mania, it's this, it's that. Oh, yeah, have I been taking in red hot wing sauce all week? Have I been doing some kind of keto diet and drenching everything with red hot? Have I been, because I'll eat the same things over and over again. That's the way I do it. Something to consider. Why is it that when I take in something with the paprika extract, or if I have something high in green, red peppers, yellow peppers, some kind of barbecue sauce that is high in peppers, the spices that they put inside of it, why is it that when I have large amounts of these things that I'm not able to sleep that night with the shit? Why is that? So attention to that. Do you notice that yourself? Now recognize the way I go about things is I'm not going to sit down and say to myself, oh, my brain is messed up, so this is why this is and this is that, and I just need to take a pill and I'll be able to go on. No, that's not the way I roll. The way I roll is I look at every single thing that I've been taking in, consuming, and how that has an effect on my moods, my sleep, my mania, my depression, and I can correlate back to, I can draw a parallel I can get in closer to understanding cause and effect. With understanding that I was born with this brain, and it is obvious that other people, your neurotypical, whatever you want to call it, these people can eat possibly paprika extract before bed and still go to sleep. So the interaction is possibly really a lot to do with people that can be, or that are sensitive to these alkaloids. And it's not a mystery that chocolate really messes me up. It's not a mystery. I'll put emphasis on that. That anytime that I'm taking in chocolate, my emotions are all over the place, and there's usually sugar involved, which is also going to hinder sleep. Sugar. Whatever's inside of sugar, we don't know completely, the refining process. So think about those things. Think about how, every single thing you stick inside of your mouth, whether it be liquid or food or whatever, whether it says on the package organic, or whether it's a Mediterranean diet, or whether it says on the packaging low calorie for $10 or whatever. Consider the actual macro ingredients, the actual substance, base substance, and what's inside of these foods. You might have a little more, I might have a little more understanding or knowing of why the hell it is that I'm not going to sleep 6 hours after laying down in bed. Because I gotta tell you, it sucks. It sucks laying in bed and not sleeping. I can have 5 freaking cups. And I usually grind a very small amount of coffee beans in each cup of coffee that I have. So my total intake of coffee could be maybe 2 Starbucks coffees, maybe 1.5 Starbucks coffees a day. I could drink that much and go to sleep. So caffeine doesn't really mess with my sleep as much as these other things that I'm talking about. And caffeine is a part of my bringing my moods together, getting out of real lows, along with some of the other things that I've mentioned in prior videos. And I've been watching a lot of videos for a couple years now on specifically mood swings, where I will search bipolar, BPD, I'll search schizoaffective, I'll search Asperger, I'll search anything that has anything to do with mood swings, where these people have mood swings, where this is a trait or something that is along with that identifying, at least with a label. And really all I've ever heard is that it's basically just talking about, I'm not able to sleep, I don't know what it is. I hear that a lot. I don't know what it is, I don't know what it is, I don't know what it is. This isn't really doing a whole lot for really anyone. As far as, getting over that hill. We can relate to each other. We can care about each other. I don't know who does. Because I've messaged a lot of people, and This is a numbers game. And as long as you have those numbers, no one really gives a shit about you. So I'd like to bring that up as well. It's off topic still. There's some people out there that have some information, and I'm not talking about myself here. Yeah, I might have a little bit of information that you could use that might be of some good to you. I'm just noticing that it's too obvious that the concern that people have is for numbers. How the hell far are you going to get with your numbers? There's got to be actual connection. There's got to be actual connection, and this isn't really a cry out. Hey, me. This is a hey, everyone. Where's the actual connection between humans, and where is it going? It's not really going to go anywhere. As long as people are concerned with numbers, that's all that they're going to be concerned about is the stupid numbers. And absolutely, I'm going to say that they're stupid. Stupid, dumb. You're not. If you have been wanting to get those numbers, if you've been wanting to get those subs, those views, those thumbs ups, all of those things, what makes you any different from every other cow out there in the fence? I'm saying that there's more to this, and especially for people with mood swings, because you can have everything given to you in a split second, and you're still going to have to go after these mood swings. You're still going to have to go after this depression, and it doesn't matter how many billions of dollars you have. It's not going to buy you this knowing, this information that you need to be able to get through. Lately, I've seen some videos where people are talking about how they have bipolar 2. And this is something that's almost every single, I'm saying this is 90% of all bipolar 2 videos. They all talk about how things are going so well now because they found the way. Everything's going so well for them. They're not talking about anything that has anything to do with anything other than they've started taking some medication. And that's about it. They are in a simple mania. They're usually young. They're in a simple mania. And they'll come out of it. And they'll go back into depression. And they'll still have this medication that's a buildup inside of their system. To me, I can get to know more about the mood swings by understanding that their moods are only going to go so much in one way. So they're kind of in a little bit of a box. At least with people that have serious mood swings, sporadic mood swings, non-stop mood swings. They're getting whipped around so much. If they're ever in that kind of state where everything's wonderful right now, it's really going to come back around and hit them in the face so fast they're not even going to know what the fuck's going on. And some thoughts on top of glycoalkaloids and sleep disturbances, hindered sleep, laying in bed for 5 freaking hours before you can maybe get an hour has full of nightmares. And another thing that I can bring up with the sleep is I've noticed that when I take anything that has to do with, that will raise the GABA, look it up, GABA. This is the relaxation portion of the brain. The brain will take the glutamic acid. That's the functioning of the brain, and it will change it to a GABA that will relax the brain, so that way that you'll calm down and you'll go to sleep, or you're just in a relaxed state. You're going to get this from taking benzos. You're going to get this from taking GABA supplement directly. And also too, something I've noticed is that if I take in anything that has to do with gelatin, because this will raise your, I know this from reading about how it will raise your growth hormone and all these different things. And this is during your sleep, and that's going to have to do with the GABA. And it does have something to do with GABA, and there's certain amino acids inside of the collagen. So if I have a bunch of chicken wings, and I'm eating a lot of the skin, then I'm going to have all kinds of weird dreams that night. I'm going to have, because what I've done is I've actually taken gelatin packets and I've putting them into protein shakes before bed for bodybuilding. And I know this self-evident that has to do with the restlessness and nightmares and super strange dreams. Another thing that will mess with my sleep is hops in beer. And hops is species-wise, it's related to marijuana. It's not exactly the same. It's in the same species, the plant species. It's a cousin to it. So drinking a lot of beer will also bring on a lot of vivid dreams. So if I drink a lot of IPAs, those are super high hoppy beers. Very, very high beers. Very estrogenic, a phytoestrogen, which is something that competes with estrogen. And this is going to always give me very vivid, shitty dreams. Years back, I had Dazed and Infused from some Boulder company here close by. And I had maybe 2 of those. And that was an extremely vivid dream. I've had a couple of those in the last few years, probably from having too much hops from other beers, IPAs, which I drink very rarely for this reason. To explain that dream that I had, I vividly remember I was in some kind of Seattle area, and I was in some house, and I walked out onto the street, and I can even remember today how vivid that dream was. I'll never forget it. It's as if I was actually alive during this whole thing. And then when I woke up, I was waking up from being alive in some other place. That's how vivid it was. Probably the most vivid dream I've ever had in my entire life. When I was in my early 20s, I was drinking heavily. Psst, psst. Calm down. Napoleon, calm down. I was drinking very heavily. And I remember I came home from drinking a lot one night at a friend's house. And I'd been drinking so many nights in a row that I was completely exhausted. And I was laying down in my bed. And I went into some kind of out-of-body experience. And for me, this is the hops. From drinking so many beers for so many nights, the hops had caught up to me. And this was from drinking Keystone Lights. I was laying in bed and I saw some helicopters, little toy helicopter, cartoonish looking, flying above me, and my body was completely tingling. And I was watching this little teeny helicopter, and it was the similar to the what they have now, where it's the augmented reality, where you are looking at what you're looking at, and then it's just there. So if you have a little dinosaur in the augmented reality in your phone or whatever in your living room, this is what I'm talking about. So it was a helicopter flying around, and it popped, and all these little sparkles went everywhere. And it was probably the weirdest shit as far as being inside of sleep and outside of sleep. So I was not really sleeping, and I was having some kind of whatever. And usually these are referred to as having DTs, whatever that stands for, with alcohol. So that's my info on sleep, personally, up to this date, on some of the things. So having a large thing of spaghetti before bed, or having a lot of mashed potatoes, or any of these types of things, if you've been eating these types of things and you're having difficulty sleeping, well, maybe you can connect the two. So forgive me if I talked about too many things here. Sometimes I'll do that. That's about all. Go ahead and leave it there. If you have anything to add or comment or whatever, please do, for conversation's sake. Not number's sake. Conversation's sake. So we can get to know each other and help each other. So peace and love. Take care.